What's up, nerds? Um, so Desiree doesn't know what we're doing today, but I wanted to keep it a surprise because it's funny. It's going to be fun. Okay, I what I wanted to do today is I wanted to go through this speech, like do it, just critically think and go through this speech that Marco Rubio gave at the Munich Security Conference yesterday, because it is chock full of a bunch of no nos and scary shit and bad things. But Hi, Desiree. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. How was your Valentine's Day?
Oh, it was great.
It
It
was
was
good.
wonderful. It was special. Yeah. How was your Valentine's Day?
It was quiet.
Okay, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I got to
Good.
mind my business.
Hey, mind that black business of yours.
All right. So, like I said, this speech that he gave at the Munich Security Conference, to say it's politically charged is an understatement because this shit, I mean, holy crap, this man just,
Boy.
golly. Okay. So, starting off, um, we gather here today as members of the Historic Alliance, an alliance that saved and changed the world. You know, when this conference began in 1963, it was a nation, or it was in a nation actually. It was on a continent that was divided against itself. This is where it gets interesting from the jump. The line between communism and freedom ran through the heart of Germany. That's reference to the Berlin Wall because, oh my God, it's already making my head hurt. The first barbed wire fences of the Berlin Wall had gone up just 2 years prior, and just months before that, the first conference before our predecessors first met here in Munich, the Cuban Missile Crisis had brought the world to the brink of nuclear destruction. Even as World War II still burned fresh in the memory of Americans and Europeans alike, we found ourselves staring down the barrel of a new global catastrophe, one with the potential for a new kind of destruction, more apocalyptic and final than anything before in the history of mankind. The time of that first gathering, Soviet communism was on the march.
Yeah. Oh,
Mm,
yo.
God.
Okay.
God. Okay. So, just to set some things straight, World War II was almost single handedly won by the Soviets.
Right.
Millions of Soviet men and women died. They literally whooped the schmazzi's butts. And the United States came in after the fact, did a little bit of sweeping here and there, and then acted as if they were the ones who did everything. The Soviets were the ones who liberated Auschwitz. They were the ones that liberated Auschwitz. Just one of many examples. On top of that, the United States, this whole fear mongering thing about the Cold War the Cold War was started pretty much by the United States
Yeah, it was.
because the Japanese were preparing to surrender. There was no reason to drop an atomic bomb, right? And even if you want to argue, well, this was just a measure to make sure that they did, as inhuman as that is, right? There was no reason on earth to drop a second atomic bomb days later.
Hmm.
You cannot convince me ever that it was right to drop a second. It wasn't even right to drop one. Wasn't nowhere near needed to drop a second atomic bomb at all. Well, they hadn't surrendered yet. You didn't give them time to process shit. Thousands of people died that day,
Right.
and they are still reeling from the realization that this new weapon has been dropped on their country. You didn't give them a second to do anything. Days later, you drop a second one. And on top of that, you waited until the busiest time of the day when everyone would be out on the streets going to and from work, school, and whatever, and you
Hmm.
dropped it over the vicinity of the local hospital to make sure that there would be no first responders.
Yeah. Strategic,
Yeah,
planned. There'll be
yeah.
women and children.
Using and I this is in no way, shape, or form to shy away from the atrocities that the Japanese committed during World War II, but the men or the women and children of Japan, the non-combatants, did not deserve any of that.
Absolutely not.
Period. In no way, shape, or form was that necessary. It was just a show of force to the Soviets to let them know, look at us. We're big and bad and we're scary. Because it was throughout this entire time period, we watched the Soviets kind of spar with the Americans because not only are the Soviets basically winning World War II almost single-handedly, but they're putting out hilarious propaganda about the United States fighting fascism in Germany and against Germany, Italy, and the Japanese, but being literally Jim Crow laws at home. Jim Crow laws, public lynchings. The Soviets knew about all of this, and they were putting out propaganda like, America, are you for real? Are you serious? And they didn't like that. They didn't like it at all. Oh, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get through this whole thing because this shit's infuriating. Marco Rubio's a dumbass.
He
I
is. He
swear.
is.
Okay, thousands of years of Western civilization hung in the balance. Ooh, communism, big scary. At
Right.
that time, victory was far from certain, but we were driven by common purpose. We were unified not just by what we were fighting against. We were unified, but we were. Oh, why we were not unified? That's bullshit in and of itself. We were not unified.
Yeah.
World War II ended. World War II ended. I mean, that was heavy Jim Crow shit,
Yeah.
heavy lynchings and shit. Oh my god, that
Unified.
the 40s and 50s, hell nah.
In what
Unified? The
world?
fuck are you talking about?
Exactly.
Um, but we were what we were fighting for, and together Europe and America prevailed, and the continent was rebuilt. I love how they exclude Russia. Like, I love
Right.
how the Soviets are just totally excluded. No, we're rebuilding Europe. The Americans, are helping the Europe rebuild itself. The Soviets did so much to help the rebuild, um, the rebuilding process.
Right.
But no, it was America.
Like you'll
America did it
acknowledge.
all.
Of course, it's always America.
Hmm. Um, um, our people prospered in time. The East and West blocks were reunited. A civilization was once again made whole. The infamous wall that had cleaved this nation into two came down, and with it an evil empire, and the East and West became one again. But the euphoria of this triumph led us to a dangerous delusion that we had entered, quote, the end of history. Or, yeah, the end of history. That every nation would now be a liberal democracy, that ties formed by trade and by commerce alone would now replace nationhood, that the rules-based global order, an overused term, would now replace the national interest, and that we would now live in a world without borders where everyone became a citizen of the world. Oh no, everyone lives in harmony with one another.
Right.
Oh, oh, God forbid.
Can't have
This was a
that.
foolish idea that ignored both human nature and it ignored the lessons of 5,000 years of recorded human history. And it has cost us dearly. In this delusion, we embraced a dogmatic vision of free and unfettered trade. Even as some nations protected their economies and subsidized their companies to systematically undercut ours, shuttering our plants, was resulting in large parts of our society being deindustrialized, shipping millions of working and middle class jobs overseas and handing control of our critical supply chains to both adversaries and rivals. Just want to unpack that for a second.
Yeah,
It's
please.
your fault that our factories are closed and that we couldn't afford to pay our work. You, United States, value profit over the well-being of your workers. You would rather you did that. You shipped your fucking companies overseas because it was cheaper to get labor overseas, pennies on the dollar. So you could pay your CEOs and shareholders way more while you're paying these people overseas next to nothing to do the product for cheaper.
Exploitation. Ah,
But
gotta love
no,
it.
it's your fault. You did this to us. These countries made us do free and free trade, and that's the whole thing about capitalism though. How you going to blame capitalism for what capitalism is doing?
Right.
Literally. Fuck. That shit doesn't even make sense. Oh my god. Where was I? Oh, we increasingly outsourced our sovereignty to international institutions, while many nations invested in welfare states at the cost of maintaining the ability to defend themselves. There it is. There's a tell right there. There's a tell right there. Oh, God, look, these nations focused on the well-being of their citizens. They
Right.
didn't pump up their military. They didn't pump up their militaries, so their citizens are taken care of. But we put all of our money into our military, and our citizens don't have health care. That's a good thing, but it's also not our fault.
I can't.
It's also not our fault.
Right.
Isn't that
Oh,
fucking bonkers?
yes, it is.
A welfare state. Your citizen like what Norway, for example, where people don't work 5 days a week. I think it's like 3 day work weeks. Everyone has health care. Everyone has a healthy standard of living. They're a welfare state, but their spending on their military is nowhere near
Hmm.
the what is it? I think the United States is somewhere near 900 bill
900 billion, I think.
900 billion a year.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
Isn't it mind blowing that we will take the bad things that we do and then, like, we know it's bad, like our people are suffering, and then we will simultaneously say it's not our fault, but then act like it's a good thing?
Yeah, we twist the narrative every time.
It's
We twist it.
ugh,
Yeah. And
it
it
makes my
has your
head
own
hurt.
people thinking that, oh, they are for our best interests when they're really not.
Uh-huh. Okay, this even as other countries have invested in the most rapid military buildup in all of human history and have not hesitated to use hard power to pursue their own interests to appease a climate cult. Climate cult.
Mm,
Oh my God, climate
That's
change is real. And they think,
right.
oh, fuck, we're going to die. Ugh. We
We
have
are.
imposed energy policies on ourselves that are impoverishing our people.
Are you kidding me?
Even as competitors exploit oil and coal and natural gas and anything else, not just to power their economies, but to use as leverage against our own. And in a pursuit of a world without borders, we opened our doors to an unprecedented wave of mass migration that threatens the cohesion of our societies, the continuity of our culture, and the future of our people.
No.
So first off, that's not fair. The presidents before Trump put energy initiatives to try and save the planet, and we want to use dirty coal and burn stuff and destroy the ozone layer. That's not fair. Everybody else gets to destroy the ozone layer. I
Hmm.
want to destroy it. I want see that national park over there. Those are perfectly good trees. I want to cut them down. That's not fair. You said I can't, so I'm gonna change the rules. I'm gonna I'm gonna burn down that national forest.
Crazy.
And then in our pursuit of a world without borders, we opened our doors to an unprecedented wave of migration.
Mm,
It's not like things the United States has always been a melting pot. It was cool when it was white people.
hmm.
It was cool when it was white people. But then when those white people started acting funny and their population started going down because they're goofy, like, how is it our fault? How is it our fault that they're dying off?
Right.
They're a
Honestly.
mutation to begin with, but how is it my fault that your mutated ass is dying off? All of this is the great replacement theory.
Hmm.
It's a great migration. They're coming in to take our jobs and kick us out, and soon the United States will be speaking Spanish as its as the official language. We don't have an official language,
We don't.
by the
As
way.
if that's the worst thing in the world, though. Why are they treating it as
Right. God forbid Americans have to learn more than one language. Pretty much every other
every other
nation on
country?
earth,
And yep,
they know
they
multiple
know.
languages. But
Hmm. Yeah.
I
And
love
yet
it
we
here. I
see
love being
them as
American.
less intelligent.
Yeah, we
It's
call everybody else third
crazy.
world countries.
Yes, this person knows six languages, but yet they're viewed as unintelligent in the United States.
Yeah.
Insane.
All right. We made these mistakes together, and now together we owe it to our people to face those facts and move forward to rebuild. Under President Trump, the United States of
Hmm.
America will once again take on the task of renewal and restoration, driven by a vision of a future as proud, as sovereign, and as vital as our civilization's past. That's dangerous.
My God.
And while we are prepared, if necessary, to do it alone, isolationism, it is our preference and it is our hope to do it together with you, our friends here in Europe. Europe's not fucking with us anymore.
No,
That
they're
is
not.
desperation.
Yes, it is.
They're not fucking with us
Our
anymore. That is
friends.
straight up desperation. No, guys, we'll do it by ourselves because we don't need anybody. But it would be nice if we had our friends
If
with
we
us.
had
That would be real nice. We miss you a lot. We it's not like I'm desperate or anything, but
right.
I miss you a lot. I cry at night. That's what we're doing right now. We're groveling,
Yeah,
and
we are.
we oh fuck. Okay, for the United States and Europe, we belong together. America was founded 250 years ago. Europe's been, I mean, borders have changed here and there, but countries in Europe have been around for thousands of years. So
Hmm.
I don't know where the fuck that's coming from. We belong together. You are literally just you've been here for like that.
Right.
What are you
Fair
talking
to
about?
them.
We belong
Right.
together. Who are you? You're just this weird mutant nation that kidnapped people across the pond. What are you doing?
Exactly.
Murdered all the indigenous people, and I mean Europe did the same thing, but still.
Yeah.
um,
Jesus.
the men who settled and built the nation of my birth arrived on our shores carrying the memories and the traditions and the Christian faith of their ancestors as a sacred inheritance, an unbreakable link between the old world and the new. This shit sounds
Yes, it does.
cultish as fuck. Also, is Marco Rubio an American? I know he's an American citizen. Was he born
Is
here?
he that I'm not sure about. I don't know.
I'm
That's a good
looking that
question.
up. Was Marco Rubio born here? Let's see. Where was he born? Because I have questions.
Right.
Hmm.
Oh,
Why did it look up pictures of him when I asked a question?
that's all I'm
Okay, so let's
seeing
see.
too. It looks like
He was
Miami,
represented
Florida.
Florida. Oh, he was born in Miami,
Yeah.
but he's Cuban. He's of
I
Cuban
was just
descent.
about to,
Mm.
yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Okay, so
yeah.
he's an anchor baby.
Yeah,
Got
he
it.
is the son of
Got it.
Of Cuban immigrants.
He is an anchor baby. Jesus Christ, you got an anchor baby talking about
This is nuts.
the roots of, oh fuck. Okay, this is so fucked. We are part of one civilization, Western civilization. We
Mm.
are bound to one another by the deepest bonds that nations could share, forged by centuries of shared history. Christian faith, culture, heritage, language, ancestry. This is actually bullshit because the settlers, the colonists that came to the United States
Hmm.
and wreaked havoc here were trying to escape from what they perceived as persecution.
Right.
But in reality, they were way too fucking radical and they were like, no, I'm not going to listen to your rules. I want to be more racist. And so they came over to the United States.
I cannot.
So, what shared culture are we talking about? You
Right.
literally ran away because you wanted to be more racist. Let's see, where was I? And the sacrifices our forefathers made together for the common civilization to which we have fallen heir. Okay, how many times you want to bet they say civilization or he says civilization throughout this whole speech?
Oh, we should count
Keep a
it.
tally.
Yeah.
Keep a tally of civilization. And so this is why we Americans may sometimes come off a little direct and urgent in our counsel.
If that's what you want to call it. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, okay. I'm a piece of shit and an
Right.
all around asshole. But you have to understand, it's because I love you. I beat you. I cause you abuse every day, but it's because I love you.
Mm-mm.
Everything about this screams Darvo.
Yes.
Um, this is why President Trump demands seriousness and reciprocity from our friends here in Europe. Okay, Hitler. the reason why my friends the reason why, my friends, is because we care deeply. We care deeply about your future and ours.
Since
And if
when?
at times we disagree, our disagreements come from our profound sense of concern about a Europe with which we are connected, not just economically, not just militarily, we are connected spiritually and we are connected culturally.
Do not gaslight them. Stop.
Oh my
Spiritually and
god. This
culturally.
this is I didn't listen to the whole speech, right? I heard like a summary.
Right.
So this is way worse than I thought it would be. This is terrifying.
Oh.
Oh man, this is bad. The United States talking about we're right. Whenever we disagree, we're right.
Hmm.
You're wrong. We're right.
Yep. All the time,
this is
though.
so
Not surprising.
this is this is fucked. We want Europe to be strong. We believe that Europe must survive because the two great wars of the last century serve for us as history's constant reminder that ultimately our destiny is and will always be intertwined with yours. The Soviets won the war. Ah, fuck, I hate this. Because we know that the fate of Europe will never be irrelevant to our national security, which this conference is largely about is not merely a series of technical questions. How much we spend on defense or how much we spend on defense or how we deploy it. That must be a typo. These are important questions. They are, but they are not the fundamental ones. The fundamental question we must answer at the outset is what exactly are we defending? This is when the dramatic and scary music starts playing. Because armies do not fight for abstraction. Armies fight for people. Armies fight for nations. Armies fight for a way of life. And that is what we are defending. A great civilization that has every reason to be proud of its history, confident of its future, and aims to always be the master of its own economic and political destiny. It was here in Europe where the ideas that planted the seeds of liberty that, that changed the world were born. It was here in Europe where the world, which gave the world the rule of law, the universities, and the scientific revolution. That is a lie.
Right.
They had universities, they had all of that in African nations beforehand.
Thank you.
Holy
Thank
shit.
you.
They
Yeah.
really think that Europe, they think white people are the end all be all.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Africans had that before while white people were still living in caves.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that to be for the listeners, the white listeners. I'm not trying to be mean to you, okay? You're descended from Neanderthals, and I'm being so serious when I say that. I'm not being mean. White folks were still in caves, and like, black people had advanced at mathematics. I'm sorry.
I mean, hell, that's it's science. Look, that's science. Science would tell
It's
you the same
literally
thing.
scientific. Okay, it was this continent that produced the gene. I want you to see what sticks out to you here. It was this continent that produced the genius of Mozart and Beethoven, of Dante, Shakespeare, of Michelangelo and Da Vinci, of the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. And this is the place where the vaulted ceilings of the Sistine Chapel and the towering spires of the great cathedral in Cologne. They testify.
What?
What did you notice about every one of those examples?
Well, all white. Um, also,
Ta-da!
those things and those people were not appreciated in that time. Art in of itself was not appreciated.
No, no. They really looked at those people and they were like, what are you doing? Like, you're
Yeah,
wasting time.
right. You don't
Yeah.
know his history.
Oh, this is bad. This is bad. Okay. They testify not just to the greatness of our past or to a faith in God that inspired these marvels. They foreshadow the wonders that await us in our future, but only if we are unapologetic in our heritage and proud of this common inheritance can we together begin the work of envisioning and shaping our economic and our political future. Deindustrialization was not inevitable. It was a conscious policy choice, a decades long economic undertaking that stripped our nations of their wealth and of their productive capacity and of their independence. And the loss of our supply chain sovereignty was not a function of a prosperity and healthy system of global trade. It was foolish. It was a foolish but voluntary transformation of our economy that left us dependent on others for our needs and dangerously vulnerable to crisis. Everything about this is capitalism.
Yes, yes.
The crumbling infrastructure, capitalism. We prioritize the well being of board members over the lives of the thousands of workers working for that company.
Yeah,
But then we say, this has been done to us. What have they done? We're
the
we're
spinning narrative.
crumbling.
Yep, spinning the narrative. Oh my God.
Oh, here we go. Here comes more racism. Mass migration is not was not this must be a typo. Mass migration is not some fringe concern of little consequence. It was and continues to be a crisis which is transforming and destabilizing societies all across the West. Brown people, together we can reindustrialize our economies and rebuild our capacity to defend our people. That's calculated right there.
Mm-hmm.
Moving directly, so not only is that little snippet right there, it's saying that brown people are the reason for our decline.
Mm-hmm.
It's saying that our economies are failing because of brown people, and we need to build more militaristic defense to defend ourselves against brown people.
Dangerous.
This is beyond dangerous.
This is, yeah. Mm.
But the work of this new alliance should not be focused just on military cooperation and reclaiming the industries of of the past. It should also be focused on together advancing our mutual here it comes, here it comes,
Mutual
mutual
interest?
interest and new frontiers, unshackling our ingenuity, our creativity, and the dynamic spirit to build a new Western century. Commercial space travel and cutting edge artificial intelligence, industrial automation, and flex manufacturing, creating a Western supply chain for critical minerals not vulnerable to extortion from other powers, and a unified effort to compete for market share in the economies of the global South. That doesn't just mean South America, that
Yeah.
means the nations of Africa.
Oh, you know it. You know it.
So what we need to not feel sorry for ourselves. We need to, like, these African nations, these South American countries, they are trying to keep us out. We need to be in there because they have things that we want. Oh, this is so dangerous.
Hypocritical as
Ah,
fuck. You want to
yes,
talk about
together we can.
destabilization?
You want to talk about
The,
mass migration and destabilizing countries,
right.
but now you're talking about the global South. We need what they have.
I cannot.
Together we cannot only together we cannot only take back control of our industries and supply chains. We can prosper in areas that will define the 21st century, but we must also gain control of our national borders, controlling who and how many people enter our countries. This is not an expression of xenophobia. It is not hate. It is a fundamental act of national sovereignty. And a failure to do so is not just an abdication of one of our most basic duties owed to our people, it is an urgent threat to the fabric of our societies and the survival of our civilization itself. That's a really long roundabout way of saying xenophobia,
I was just
dumbass.
about to say that. You have to say that?
Really, really
Right.
long roundabout way.
Yeah,
I'm not xenophobic, explains exactly what xenophobia is.
exactly.
And finally, we can no longer place the so called global order above the vital interests of our people and our nations. What's the global order, Mark? What
Right.
is it? We do not need to abandon the system of international cooperation we authored, and we do not need to dismantle the global institutions of the old order that together we built. What's the old order, Mark? What's that?
Right. Can you be more specific, please?
I would love to know what the old order is.
Right.
This shit's starting to sound like National Treasure. Where's Nick Cage?
Oh Lord. Too
That
busy being
movie, honestly,
Spider-Man noir.
that movie made Freemasons sound so cool.
Haven't
It really it made
it's
Freemasonry sound so cool, but they're like a creepy, freaky cult.
yeah, they are.
um, but these must be reformed. These must be rebuilt. For example, the United Nations still has tremendous potential to be a tool for good in the world. But we cannot ignore that today, on the most pressing matters before us, it has no answer and has played virtually no role. It could not solve the war in Gaza. Instead, it was American leadership that freed captives from barbarians and brought about a fragile truce. It has not solved the war in Ukraine.
What?
I don't even have to say anything about that. I don't even have to say anything about that.
Right. I mean, shows.
A fragile truce? There was no truce. They got their Israeli captives back, hostages, captives. Who the fuck cares? They're evil people. They got them back and immediately started bombing.
Yeah.
Told the Palestinian people, you're not allowed to celebrate. the people that you're getting back. And then they started bombing them again, indiscriminately killing them again. It took American leadership in partnership with many countries here today just to bring the two sides to the table in search of a still elusive peace. It was powerless to constrain the nuclear program of radical Shia clerics in Tehran that required 14 bombs dropped with precision from American B 2 bombers, and it was unable to address the threat to our security from a narco terrorist dictator in Venezuela. Instead, it took American special forces to bring this fugitive to justice. We kidnapped another nation's leader.
We did.
We just kidnapped them. Like, just went in and snatched them up.
True colonists.
In a perfect world, all of these problems and more would be solved by diplomats and strongly worded resolutions. But we do not live in a perfect world, and we cannot continue to allow those who blatantly and openly threaten our citizens and endanger our global stability to shield themselves behind abstractions of international law, which they themselves routinely violate. Pot, meat kettle, fuck. What? This is the path that President Trump and the United States has embarked upon.
I know.
Who are
Who's
you lying
buying
to?
this? Right. Who is buying this shit? Honestly.
It is the path that it is the path we ask you here in Europe to join us on. It is the path we have walked together before and hope to walk together again. For 5 centuries before the end of the Second World War, the West had been expanding. Its missionaries, its pilgrims, its soldiers, its explorers pouring out from its shores to cross oceans, settle new continents, build vast empires extending out across the globe. But in 1945, for the first time since the age of Columbus, it was contracting. Europe was in ruins. Half of it lived behind an iron curtain, and the rest looked like it would soon follow. The great Western empires had entered into terminal decline, accelerated by godless communist revolutions and anti colonial uprisings.
Um, um,
Let me read that one more time.
yes,
The
please.
great Western empires had entered into terminal decline, accelerated by godless communist revolutions. The people standing up for themselves and saying, we deserve to own the means of our own production. We
Yes.
need to own the fruits of our labor. That's number one. And by anti colonial uprisings, black and brown people standing up against white people who had been oppressing, murdering, and subjugating them for centuries. That is what led to the decline of Western civilization.
As if
So if
anti-colonialism is,
if your civilization is founded on the backs of other people and you can't survive without that
hmm
enslavement, that genocide, that slave labor, do you deserve to survive as a civilization? Do you deserve
it,
to survive as a civilization? Nope. No, you don't.
no, absolutely not. The fact that we even have to question this. I mean, but the fact that he turns, it's in the language, anti-colonialism as if it's a bad thing. It's
Yeah. Yeah. He said it out loud. He said it
right.
out loud. Okay. It gets even better. By anti-colonial uprisings that would transform the world and drape the red hammer and sickle across vast swaths of the map in the years to come. God, I wish. Bro, they make it sound so fucking cool.
I
They
mean,
make it sound so fucking cool. Against that backdrop, then as now, many came to believe that the West's age of dominance had come to an end, and that our future was destined to be a faint and feeble echo of our past. But together, our predecessors recognized that decline was a choice, and it was a choice they refused to make. This is what we did together once before, and this is what President Trump and the United States want to do again, now together with you. You want to do you want to get rid of the people's ability to own their means of production,
yeah.
and you want to get rid of anti-colonial sentiment. You want fascism.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because if we're using critical thinking skills, you already you made it clear what your end goal was, and you are stating that you want to do it again. So I wouldn't be crazy to say that you want to quell any sense of freedom.
Hmm.
You want freedom and choice for a few select white men. Everyone else has to fall in line.
Yeah. There's a reason why they fantasize about those days, the good old days. That's essentially what it is.
And this is why we do not want our allies to be weak, because they make us weaker. We want allies who can defend themselves so that no adversary will be tempted to test our collective strength. This is why we do not want our allies to be shackled by guilt and shame. We want allies who are proud of their culture and their heritage, who understand that we are heirs to the same great and noble civilization, and who together with us are willing and able to defend it. And this is why we do not want allies to rationalize the broken status quo rather than reckon with what is, what is necessary to fix it.
There it is.
For we in America have no interest in being polite and orderly caretakers of the West's managed decline. We do not seek to separate, but to revitalize an old friendship and renew the greatest civilization in human history. What we want is a reinvigorated alliance that recognizes that what has ailed our societies is not just a set of bad policies, but a malaise of hopelessness and complacency. The alliance that we want is one that is not paralyzed into an action by fear of climate change, fear of war, fear of technology. Instead, we want an alliance that boldly races into the future. And the only fear we have is the fear of shame of not leaving our nations prouder, stronger, and wealthier for our children. So, just to reiterate, we don't want allies who are afraid of climate change. We don't want allies who are afraid of war. And we don't want allies who are afraid of technology in reference to AI.
Ah,
So, unless you are ready to go to war right then and there, unless you are ready to fuck the planet up, and unless you openly embrace AI, we don't want you. But at the same time, we're on our knees begging Europe to be our friends again. Do you see how contradictory this
yes.
shit is?
Yes. Yes, I do. Not fucking
An
surprising.
alliance ready to defend our people, to safeguard our interests, and to preserve the freedom of action that allowed us to shape our own destiny. manifest destiny,
Hmm.
not one that exists to operate a global welfare state and atone for the purported sins of past generations. Oh, he said the quiet part
Yes,
out
he did.
loud.
Yes, he
Oh,
did.
he said the quiet part out loud. Fuck the citizens of the United States. They don't deserve health care. Also, fuck black people. We don't give a
Yeah,
shit.
it's always fuck us. I mean, it's always fuck us.
Oh, an alliance that does not allow its power to be outsourced, constrained, or subordinated to systems beyond its control. One that does not depend on others for critical necessities of its national life. And one that does not maintain the polite pretense that our way of life is just one of among many, and that asks for permission before it acts. That's abuse. That
That's,
is an abuser.
yes, it is.
I shouldn't have to ask for permission. Your body is mine. I don't think, oh my God, oh my God, that's terrifying. I don't have to
No.
be polite.
Mm-mm.
Your way of life doesn't conform to mine, so it shouldn't exist. We should all live under my way of life. Oh, bro, that's ew,
Not so
ew.
far-fetched from what we've been
That's
doing, and here we
so
are again.
gross. That
Yeah.
is so gross.
How dare you take it out of my ass or out of your ass? I'm not done with you yet. I'm not finished with you yet. Essentially, that's what
Yeah.
I'm getting from this speech.
Huh?
That's
Yeah.
America.
Because this, after all, is the very foundation of the transatlantic bond. That is not accidental.
That's not.
Transatlantic bond.
Hmm. Intentional.
That's not accidental.
Nope.
Because what really did start the relations between North America and Europe was the transatlantic slave trade.
Yes.
That was literally the start of that colonization process. Holy shit. That was on purpose. Acting together in this way, we will not just help recover a sane foreign policy. It will restore to us a clearer sense of ourselves. It will restore a place in the world, and in doing so, it will rebuke and deter the forces of civilization erasure that today menace both America and Europe alike. What does civilization erasure mean? When they say this shit, I need them to
Hmm.
explain it to me because they never do.
Well,
They
they're
never
afraid
they
to.
never explain it.
White erasure.
Hmm. I want them to say it.
Yeah,
So in a
exactly.
time of headlines heralding the end of the transatlantic era, let it be known and clear to all that this is neither our goal nor our wish. Again, begging. Because for us Americans, our home may be in the Western Hemisphere, but we will always be a child of Europe.
Hmm.
We think that you should always listen to us because we're always right, but we don't want you to go away because we like you too much. Sure, we may be mean a lot all the time and we may bully you, but it's only because we love you and we're very headstrong. Our story began with an Italian explorer whose adventure into the great unknown to discover a new world brought Christianity to the Americas and became the legend that defined the imagination of our pioneer nation. To
Oh
be
my God.
clear, he's talking about, if you don't know who he's talking about Christopher Columbus,
Hmm.
who wiped out about 80% of the Taino population of Puerto Rico. Wiped out 80% of the native population through genocide, like physically killing people, and bring the disease that they brought. This is the man that they're championing. Oh, he also slept with a manatee. And then when he was caught by his crew, he said it was a mermaid. So
I
there's that.
can't.
Our first colonies were built by English settlers to whom we owe not just the language we speak, but the whole of our political and legal system. Our frontiers were shaped by Scots Irish, that proud hardy clan from the hills of Ulster that gave us Davy Crockett and Mark Twain and Teddy Roosevelt and Neil Armstrong. All white again. No mention of this country being built on the
Hmm.
backs of enslaved labor. Holy fucking shit. Our great Midwestern heartland was built by German farmers and craftsmen who transformed empty plains into global agricultural powerhouse and by the way dramatically upgraded the quality of American beer. No mention, no mention of people of color.
It's intentional. Mhm.
Holy fuck. Our expansion into the interior followed the footsteps of French fur traders and explorers whose names, by the way, still adorn the streets and towns and names of all across the Mississippi Valley. Our horses, our ranches, our rodeos, the entire romance of the cowboy archetype that became synonymous with the American West. Those were born in Spain. That's absolute horseshit. There may have been some like the Spanish introduced horses to North America, but most of the culture of cowboys was influenced by black people and by
It is.
natives of the California Mexico region. Holy
Writing
fucking
history.
shit.
Yep.
Holy fucking shit. They are literally rewriting history. And our largest and most iconic city was named New Amsterdam before it was named New York. And you know that in the year that my country was founded, Lorenzo and Catalina Giraldi lived in Casale Monferrato in the Kingdom of Piedmont. Sardinia? I don't know that. What the fuck is that? Oh,
Uh,
and Jose and Manuela Reina lived in Seville, Spain. I don't know what, if anything, they knew about the 13 colonies which had gained their independence from the British Empire, but here's what I'm certain of. They could have never imagined that 250 years later, one of their direct descendants would be back here today on this continent as the chief diplomat of that infant nation. Oh, he's talking about his ancestors. That's what it was.
Lord.
And yet here I am reminded by my own history or by my own story that both our histories and our fates will be linked, always be linked. Together we rebuilt the shattered continent in the wake of two devastating world wars. When we found ourselves divided once again by the Iron Curtain, the Free West linked arms with the courageous dissidents struggling against tyranny in the East to defeat Soviet communism. Wait, is he talking about Vietnam? Because we got our asses handed to
Yeah,
us
we
in
did.
Vietnam. They absolutely wiped our asses in Vietnam. So I don't know what the fuck they're talking
They'll
about.
never
And
admit
we
that.
have bled and died side by side on battlefields from Cap Yong to Kandahar. And here I am here today to leave it clear to that America is charting the path for a new century of prosperity. And that once again we want to do it again or do it together with you, our cherished allies and our oldest friends. We want to do this together with you, with a Europe that is proud of its heritage and of its history, with a Europe that has the spirit of creation and liberty that sent ships out into uncharted seas and birthed our nation, with a Europe that has the means to defend itself and the will to survive. We should be proud of what we have achieved together in the last century. But now we must confront and embrace the new opportunities of a new one because the yesterday is over. The future is inevitable and our destiny together awaits. Thank you. I told you that was a lot.
That was a mess. And I feel
It was
disgusted.
just, yeah, you need a shower after that.
I do.
Like, I feel gross. That was white supremacist drivel. Absolutely mind numbing. What are
What
your
the hell do
thoughts?
we
What are your
even
thoughts on
say to this? I,
it?
man, it pissed me the fuck off. I'm sorry. But at the same time, though, again, not really surprised. I think it's just the audacity to say these things out loud now.
Hmm.
It, ugh, what is it going to take? What is it going to take? We know what we need. Never mind. Never mind. Funny how he can say certain things, but I can't. Just a random
Right.
person on the internet. Just want to put that out there.
The fact that our government is currently subpoenaing
Yeah.
the
hmm
records of anyone that speaks out against
ICE
them.
and the
Yeah,
administration. Yeah. This is where we are.
yeah. We're in V for Vendetta. This is
I need to watch
yeah.
that again. Please remind me because I did say I was going to watch it
Actually, I need to add
again,
that to
but
the list of the movies I got.
oh, it's not on there. I thought it was.
No, I need V for Vendetta.
I This
V
is
for Vendetta.
yeah,
All right, add that to the list. But yeah, no.
but this is on
I think
brand
yeah, it's on brand.
for America.
They're saying the I wouldn't even say it's saying the quiet part out loud. It's what the United States was founded on.
Yeah, yeah.
They genuinely think the United States was built by white people. It was founded by white people and built by white people. This is a white nation, and we should speak English and nobody else. Blah, 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 blah. Which is really interesting because they love ranting and raving about other languages,
hmm
but at the same time, like talking about we love Europe. Europe is our friend, and there are numerous languages spoken in Europe
Right.
by the white people.
Yeah. Uh,
German, French, and the Swedes got their own language, and like fuck, what do you Dutch?
literally, these are the same ones that will be up in a Mexican restaurant on a Saturday, enjoying their food and their culture,
Uh
while
huh.
also telling them that they're not welcome here.
Yep. It's on brand.
Unbelievable.
It's on brand. I
They should have
don't even think
not.
there's much. There's not much else that we can even say about this because this is
It. He
it's
said what he said.
self-explanatory. He
Yeah.
said what he said. He said what he said. I just wanted you all to hear the absolute nonsense that this country is an authoritarian state. It has been for forever, but we're
hmm
seeing the full blown in your face fascism um rear its ugly head, and that speech was just a glimpse into the mind of one of those fascists that's leading the country.
I
That's
cannot. Yeah.
every and I want to be clear that no matter how much Trump likes to, dodge and weave and escape accountability, every single person that speaks out for MAGA speaks for Trump.
hmm
He's given them free reign. This is what they wanted. They wanted freedom to do and say whatever they wanted. They all speak for Trump. Trump doesn't get to escape accountability. They all speak for him. This is his rhetoric. This is all of this obviously falls under the umbrella of this is just white
White
supremacy,
supremacy.
racism, and capitalism. This is how the United States has always operated. But they want to be open, loud, and proud. Trump does not get to escape accountability. This is all on him. Not
Yeah,
all.
they're
You
trying
know
to
what I mean. You know what I
normalize
mean.
this, you know,
Yeah.
and you need talking heads in order to do it. That's just what it is. And so the more that they normalize this sort of thing, I mean,
Marco Rubio is a fascinating subject though, because he used to have somewhat of a spine, and the way he has basically sold the fuck out. You can see it on his how he's aging.
hmm
He literally sold his soul to the devil,
that's
and
what racism does.
he's turning into a lich,
Yep.
a wraith,
Damn. Yeah.
literally turning
No.
into a wraith. But
Just
yeah,
insane.
I wanted to read that with y'all today, just so you could. I
I
wouldn't
didn't even
suffer
know what
alone.
was
I didn't
happening.
want to.
And now I'm like, so
I didn't
thanks
want to
for that.
suffer alone. I needed everybody else to hear that.
Yeah, no, it's a good thing we did though. We need to know these things. Oh, God, I need a shower.
Yep, it's shower time, and it's time to get something to eat because goddamn, that made me hungry. All right, friends. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Like the world seems kind of dark and gloomy, and today was a heavy episode. Um, I want you to go do something that is gonna make you happy. Go build some Legos. Go watch a movie. Um, go to your nearest trampoline place, like the trampoline park.
Like a jumpaline.
Be
Yeah.
careful though, because I've watched some horrific injuries at trampoline parks.
No,
Please be careful. But go roller skating, go bike riding, um, play some D
touch
and D.
grass. Yeah,
Yeah, touch grass, because
please.
that's the thing that we can do to keep ourselves grounded. We got fascists running around thinking that they're invincible. We have to remember that we are doing the right thing. No matter how much we are gaslit, we always have to remember that we're doing the right thing, standing up against fascism, colonialism, fascism. Um, we just need to stay strong. Part of that is making sure that we're taken care of mentally and physically. So go drink your water, eat something, and go do something enjoyable. All right. As always, this is Ebony Warrior Studios with blinding speed, master quality, and untold savagery. May the force be with you always.